computer got stolen out of his office. He left the door unlocked and some dude just walked in. Mind you, he was like, he had all his shit open, like all his bank accounts.
That's an awful
On his laptop, and then my dad was saying, check the cameras. Oh, the fake cameras are fake.
Like, you just have the worst set ever. What's up, Jake? What's up, Brandon? Joshua? What's up, everybody? Wow, we got a lot in here today. Yeah, you got beat up today, Brandon. That's rough. So, Ray. What's up, action? I did see you say that. I was wondering how accurate that was going to be, because people have been vying for this first spot. So.
Wait, what?
Being first in the stream, in the chat. Vying. Yeah, that's the word I use. 225, guys. 225. What's up, everybody? Whew. I actually feel really good today, guys. I got decent sleep. My pre-workout is kicking. Chicken wings for dinner. You said you need a pre-workout?
No, I'm not taking that Broad River pre-workout.
But yeah, got me some chicken wings in my stomach. Like 30 of them, probably. Snack?
No.
It's a snack size.
I mean, I guess that's what's necessary.
What's up, Rich Guy?
To be your body weight and lift double it, so.
I try to take down at least 10 chickens a day. Look, all right? I gotta keep the chicken population under control.
I'm sure KFC, Popeyes, and Sam's Club go enough.
Rich guy's late, is that what we're saying? I believe he's late. Chicken wings are great. I air fry all my chicken wings. So air fry is better than deep fried in my opinion, taste wise. 100%. A little onion powder, a little garlic powder, some salt, some pepper, maybe some cayenne depending on the day. Appreciate it. Already. You already have a message deleted.
No.
Oh, yeah, that was fair. That was a fair delete.
I'm
good.
Oh man, I can't read it.
What's up, Google?
I want to read it now.
It's already gone.
Fuck.
You asked me to sniff my seat.
I'm horny today, I see.
Not me in particular.
Horny today, it's crazy.
Any update on the bird flu epidemic? I haven't been affected by it.
If it helps you, I was there last.
What, the bird flu epidemic?
See.
I knew what you said. I knew what you meant. I just didn't want to continue the conversation point. All right. There's a lot going on in this chat right now. All right, we're gonna get back to bench at 245 for one. And a hot dog, I would say, is technically a taco. It is. It's technically a taco. It's not a sandwich because that requires 2 buns or 2 pieces. A hot dog would technically be a taco. I haven't experienced any issues with it. Now here's what is it? There was another one. It was hot dogs are technically tacos. There was more. I forget what the other ones were. I know the debate though to some extent. There was other ones though. I can't remember what they were now. Like ketchup is technically a sports drink. What does a sports drink have in it? What does a sports drink have in it? Electrolytes, which is salt, and some kind of flavoring, and water. It's a tomato flavored Gatorade. I'm right. Ketchup is just tomato flavored Gatorade. Huh? I don't know if he thought he was right. I think he knew he was wrong. I just don't think he cared.
Very fair.
The ocean is technically a really big seafood
I
boil.
knew you were going to say that.
It just hasn't been heated up yet. We're just marinating it.
What was the one that was like?
Hear me out though, guys. Hear me out, right? What if global warming is on purpose by the elite and they're trying to make the world's biggest seafood boil by warming the oceans gradually without us noticing? I feel like it's something they would do.
Well, make sure they have all season special in there.
Has anybody checked if they're dumping spices via airplane? Ugh.
I think what was it saying, like tequila is a salad or something like that? Or
Tequila? I don't think
it was something like that, like one of the alcoholic drinks is something.
it's a salad.
I forget how they would try to break it down to it being like a salad or something like that.
All right, we got 3:15 guys. We're gonna grab this real quick, and then that'll be our last warm-up rep for the night. It's going good, Mark. How you doing? It's going good. Feeling really good today, actually. Fresh haircut, belly full of chicken wings, pre-workout. It's a great day so far. I would say you're right. Spaghetti is technically a salad. What do you have in salads? Plants.
No.
What comes from plants? Noodles. Tomatoes also a plant. And you can put meat in a salad, right? It's just Italian salad. Spaghetti is just Italian salad. No pineapple on pizza. That's a terrible, terrible thing. That's a terrible thing. But question is, why aren't we putting other fruit on pizza for those that like fruit on pizza? Like we could do mango.
Tomatoes already on the damn pizza sauce. Shit.
But hear me out. They put pineapple on pizza. No one's experimented with other fruits, right? What about apple pizza? Oh no, that exists. Cece's. They have an apple.
Is it a dessert pizza?
It counts as a pizza though, right?
I guess.
What decides a pizza, guys? What makes a pizza? It's just the bread, right? Bread with toppings?
I guess because if you call it because of calzone and
Is a Pop-Tart just like a dessert calzone?
no, technically that would then be a calzone.
A calzone's a dessert.
No,
Or
it's a dessert calzone.
yeah, that's what I said.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And what, I think if you open the ends, it's a stromboli or some shit like that.
I don't think I've ever had a stromboli.
Neither have I. They look good, but
They do look good, but at that point, just get a calzone. I feel like they just stole the ends of your food. All right, we got 325 on here, guys. We're gonna keep getting more weight on there tonight, so let's keep it moving. I still think that what decides if it's a pizza is the type of breading, and then it just has to have a topping. Like if you have that crust, like pizza type crust, and a topping, it qualifies as a pizza regardless of what is on it.
I'm gonna leave here and go buy a pizza.
Well, there is a pizza place next door.
I think they're closed, but the one on 2 Notch closer to me, it's open to like 1, maybe.
What is that? Papa John's?
No, it's not much.
No. Papa John's is open, I think 24 hours or something like that. That being said, Papa John's uses too much sauce.
Yeah. I'm typically a fan of Marco's.
I was gonna say Marco's kind of fell off though. I haven't heard anybody talking about Marco's in a while. Everybody's eating Marco's for like a year and then everybody stopped. $25 moving smooth, guys. Bread with pasta is great. It's double carbs. Who doesn't like double carbs?
My ass doesn't need it.
You don't eat bread with pasta?
I do, but I don't need it.
Oh, don't need it. I said don't eat it. They're really good pizzas though, Daniel. Marco's makes a good, like, fast pizza. I will say though, the difference between, so I would say pizza is one of the foods that when you pay more for a pizza, you can very much tell the difference generally, as long as it's like an actual good pizza place. And there's a lot of things I feel like you can go most places and get a decent version of it. Pizza has a significant value increase in my opinion when you get a higher end pizza compared. So we're going up a little bit. $5 hot and ready. But it's not. But here's the thing: a $5 pizza, for what you get for the $5 pizza at Little Caesars, you get like a ton of value out of that, right?
I guess.
Anything you get for $5, a whole pizza, regardless of quality of toppings, all right?
Regardless of microwavability after.
You don't save $5 pizza. You eat the whole thing and regret it afterwards, right?
You're struggling in college, you save the pizza.
That's fair, but at that point, that's the only time it's acceptable, all right?
Now, if you go up with the $5, then it might have some eatability, but.
Like at that point, buy a frozen pizza and like eat, like cook half at a time, right?
Fair. Walmart does have decent pizza.
All right, let's grab another one. Hey, Musper's in the chat too. What's up? They're $8 in Canada right now? That's awful.
Little Caesars?
Yeah.
Fuck no.
They're $8 hot and ready. They ain't no fucking way. I would pay $8 for any Little Caesars pizza, let alone a hot and ready.
Hot and ready cheese and pepperoni pizza is crazy. Must be people meat.
Is that more expensive?
People meat?
Yeah, probably. Probably high dollar stuff.
$5 people.
Nah, that's crazy work. That's crazy work. What's that?
I left to come to the gym and it was like 3 Richland County Sheriff officers down the street. I was like, oh, some shit happened.
Right now there's?
Huh?
There's 3 out there right now?
No, I mean, when I left for the gym, that was probably about an hour and some change ago, so.
Did I tell you about the other, it was like a month, 2 months ago? I think I was streaming when it happened, guys.
I think you did tell me about that. Some shit happened in the parking lot?
Yeah, so some guys pulled up in the parking lot and were like circling the parking lot. I was streaming, if y'all remember this, circling the parking lot, and they almost hit my car a couple times, and I like went out there and like looked out the door, and they're like arguing with somebody. Turns out they pulled a gun on whoever they were arguing with, and another member saw it. Like I guess someone that was across the street coming in saw it. I just didn't want him to hit my car.
Very fair.
We'll drop back for reps in a second. what's up, Alex? Guys, if I miss messages in the chat, by the way, I've only got this chat on how my computer today, so I can only see like 2 or 3 messages at a time. So if I miss something, you guys will have a question, let me know. So I went out there just looking to see what was going on. Turns out the guys had a firearm. Is that YouTube friendly to say it that way? Pretty sure it's YouTube friendly to say it that way. They had a pew pew. Which they never bothered me, so I didn't even find out about it until the next day, really. I knew they were out there, but I didn't find out about it. I don't even know what they were arguing about. I think they were just riding around threatening people, if I'm not mistaken. Like, people were, like, what? You got nothing better to do than try and put yourself in jail all in one night for nothing? You're not even robbing? Not even getting paid. I'm not in Texas. I'm not in Texas. I will say that probably, I wouldn't say it's that, probably happens more in Texas than it does here. But this is South Carolina. We got plenty of freedom sticks out here, so. Ugh. 100%. It's constitutional carry out here, so you can, without license, you can carry. It has to be visible though. So, huh? Huh? You didn't know that?
I know it. I still don't carry visibly.
No, it doesn't make sense to do that.
And I'm not going to.
All right, we got an amount of weight on this, more than 300. I don't even know how much it is anymore. 335. 335 on here. We're gonna grab 335 real quick. So, yeah, we're still bulking, so we're gonna be continuously getting bigger for a little while. We're gonna be continuously getting bigger for a while. All right. Just don't ever, forever bulk. It's a forever bulk. When we hit, we'll talk about maybe a cut around 500-ish pounds, all right? Once they get to about 500-pound body weight, we'll talk about a cut. The goal is just to get so large that the range of motion that I can possibly achieve on the bench is like 3 inches, right? So they can't complain at competition when I only have to move the bar this far, right? Our bench will be great. It's like having a big arch, except it's just like really big belly. Oh yeah, the bulk's going great. Bulk's going great. I'm probably like 181 right now, give or take a pound. And when we officially started like eating bulk level calories, I think it was in like February or March, we put on like 17 pounds, somewhere in that ballpark. So. Yeah, I was waiting to hear from you. Hopefully you're doing well after that. I'm glad it went well. I'm glad it went well. The recovery hopefully will be quick. Hopefully the recovery will be quick. Chest flies are solid work. Tomorrow, action. I'll hit bench again tomorrow. Every night. Every night. The schedule will get back to normal tomorrow, guys, by the way. We'll be back on the normal schedule for all the streams. So I know they'll be kind of like out there, like some early, some late, some early, some late. I don't know what the schedule is going to look like, but we're going to get on a routine again. We do them every night, obviously, but obviously, mother's in town. That's important. So spending time with her. Very important to me to do that. So I've been doing that. So tomorrow she flies back out. The schedule will be re-established, I suppose, in some sense. Nice, Daniel. Nice. Good stuff. All right. You guys said you wanted to see him do 405 real quick?
Wait a minute, that's a lie.
That's what they're saying.
I wasn't even paying attention. All I heard was you guys, him, and 405. No, I don't care what they say.
You said you double dare him. They said double dare.
Looks like I'm a bitch tonight.
Man, that's what they're saying.
I don't care.
That's rough. Some of the stuff they're saying in the chat about you right now is rough.
I have nothing to prove to them.
One guy just dropped your address.
That's
That's
your
weird.
channel. I don't even have to believe that. Please remind them of the gun laws in South Carolina.
Oh, Lord. Oh, he could do 325 right now, 100%. I believe it. He doesn't seem to think so. I believe he can. I believe he can. And it's really about the belief. If you believe you can lift it, you probably can lift it, right? He's not going to come and do it. He can, though. Watch. He be sandbagging.
I don't know what they're going to watch.
What's up, Drizzy? All right, we've got 335 on the bar. I'm going to grab this real quick.
Not the milk.
It's your fault.
It's crazy.
The bench took it offensively that you didn't want to come over and try 405.
Sounds like nothing like fire on the bench.
Whee! Let's go. It went well. We've got another competition in August. Yeah, we're gonna start. The bulk is going well. We're gonna keep bulking, guys. We're gonna keep bulking. With the schedule going back to normal, we're gonna hopefully get back on a very normal PR schedule as well. My sleep has been funky. Everything's been a little off, so it's all right. It's all right. Sometimes, life has got a life a little bit, right? Life has got a life a little bit, and you maintain, get back into things, right? So we never miss, though. We never miss. Ugh. You guys, they erased the PR board. I think it was him.
That's crazy because I was wondering who did it too.
I think probably staff. It's unfortunate. They didn't put anything up there to replace the PR board.
Honestly, they even erased the lift for Jesus.
Yeah, it's been there forever. That's like a staple. It's been there for like at least as long as I've been coming here. It's been reiterated and redrawn, but I'm gonna redraw it tonight. I'm gonna give them bigger quads probably though. I feel like I sold them short on the quad section. All right, Bossberg. See you in a bit. So we did have a big jump on the bench, right? We got a 15-pound increase since they started streaming over the course of like 3 months, 4 months, almost 4 months. We had about a 15-pound increase, right? But now we are seeing that period where it's going to be probably a 5-pound a month increase for a little while, or 5 pounds a month increase for maybe 1 or 2 months, and then we should start seeing it climb very quickly again. It's usually how it cycles for me. So. That's usually how it cycles for me. All right, we've got, let's check our weight. We haven't hit 370 yet, no. But mind you, when we first started streaming, we were so I had just gotten back to 350 after a huge illness. So we were at 350 when we started streaming, I believe. We might not even been able to do 350 on the first day we streamed. I was feeling really rough right after that illness. So. That's unfortunate. Tax, insurance, and accessories. It's rough to hear boring from someone that their channel name is Tax Accessories. Top tier channel name. I'm sure they have riveting content. Riveting content, I imagine, coming out of there.
Nope, I don't.
All right, 340, 345? 345, that's what we're doing. We just did 340? Did I just do 340?
I can't recall. It wasn't
15, well, I'm doing the math in my head. 3, 15, 25, 35. That was 340 we just did. We got 345 on here now. Worst case scenario, it doesn't go up. He's just gonna curl it off of me anyways. I know you guys can't see him in the background, but he's got about like 40-inch biceps. So if he can't curl it, it's really sad.
What are you guys following? I question it every stream.
Me too. I actually slid up the bench on that one weirdly. I think I mounted it a little low. So my whole back slid. Didn't feel good. Didn't feel bad. I didn't hurt, but it felt very awkward.
In your mind, you said,
And it's not supposed to do that. It's like, that's not supposed to move once I'm here. All right. We can go 350 tonight, guys. Why not? Why not? I'm just trying to catch up with him now. So.
why are you lying?
He's actually going to be at the next powerlifting meet with me.
No, again. Why? It's insane.
He actually holds the world record for most push-ups in 3 seconds. I don't know if you guys have met him. He is giving out autographs. You just got to show up to his house. I'll post a link to his home, like Google Maps.
That's all I got for you guys.
Oh, Lord. The great thing is one of them is going to believe me. Just one person will believe me. It's the internet.
So what?
One person will believe me. It's the internet. So.
Fair enough.
Yeah, the hair's feeling great. The hair's feeling great. It feels good to have some of the bulk off now that it's getting hot as far as the hair is concerned. So we're bulking here, debulking here, you know, so. All right, we're gonna grab a couple sips of our milk and then we'll grab this 350. I don't know what you're saying. I only speak English and a little bit of German. I don't even speak good English. It's questionable sometimes.
Yeah, for some reason he keeps telling lies and I don't understand it.
Well, that's not an English language issue. That's a
Been telling some mental issue.
more or less probably. Did you want to spot me?
I'm just here.
Or did you want to try?
No, I'm good.
Do like a heavy negative.
No, I'm good.
What we'll do is we'll do a drop set. So what I'll do is I'll hold the bar out, drop it, you catch. Use the momentum, the inertia. to bring it up. It's basic physics.
To bounce it off the inside of my chest, yeah.
Actually, the inside. But the barbell's not supposed to go in there. That's why you have a rib cage. They give you multiple ribs. If you lose one, you got a bunch of backups.
All right, I lost one.
That's the guy. You got like what, at least 10. Start counting ribs. Hold on. How many ribs do we have? I have no idea how many ribs we're given.
It was supposed to be Alan, you joking, not how.
I was going more the technical side.
I know. Damn it.
He speaks Portuguese.
That's
Surprisingly.
that's crazy.
I'm building up your lore during the stream.
I see, and it's so funny because I have an ex that was Brazilian. So
Look at this, it's perfect.
No,
It's perfect.
That's insane, no.
He's the translator for us. He speaks 9 languages currently.
I wish.
8 of them are dialects of country, like English. Right?
That's, yeah, okay, no.
Fair. There's at least 8 here in South Carolina.
If I spoke that many languages, I would not be at the post office. It would come in handy for Red.
It would,
but
for Red
it would come.
No
It would
one's
come
gonna
in
get that.
handy.
No one's gonna get that. You know, actually, Jay might get that. Jay is from South Carolina. He might understand the red bake joke. Very possible. Very possible.
What area of South Carolina?
I'm not gonna dox him in the stream.
Give a city 10 miles away.
I'm not doing that.
Well, narrow it down.
You want spotting?
Sure.
Just get ready to curl.
Deadlift?
Curl?
Deadlift?
You don't want to look bad on the screen.
I'll deadlift it. I won't look bad. Forget my deadlift is 505. You didn't need me.
350 moving good still, guys.
You didn't need me.
Ooh, I still feel like he breathed on the bar, so it doesn't count.
He just wanted me on the damn camera, and I don't appreciate it.
I was 350, Mark. 350.
Henry?
Hmm?
Mark
What?
Henry?
Are you what?
You said Mark Henry? You said
No.
Mark.
That'd be interesting to have him in the stream, I
Yeah, that
imagine.
really would.
Lord. Hold on. We gotta do some moderation in the chat. No, rich guy, we're not doing that. No, rich guy, we're not doing that. Lord. Yeah, we don't do that, rich guy. We don't tolerate that.
I need to get some wood here for this. So I need-
At one point, he'll probably be on the stream, I imagine. All right, we've got 315. We're gonna grab this. I don't know, for an amount of reps, more than one probably. Probably less than 50. I would say between 1 and 50 is a good estimate. Well, I can't be wrong that way. I'm banking on not being wrong, all right? I still don't speak with Portuguese. I still don't speak that. Still don't speak Portuguese. I'm relying on you here.
I'm sorry. Only she spoke it to me. I just listened.
You
I have more comments, but I'm not gonna say it for the stream.
What's the last time I had instant noodles? I'm 5'11", body fat probably like, I don't know, 14%. Instant noodles, it's been a very long time.
Freight Daddy is crazy.
And Puffy, he's just got a whole list of people to free.
And it got deleted.
Yeah, no, you're reading it correctly. I know you probably read it like 3 times, and there it is, it's gone now. I was waiting for that. Appreciate it, Jay. Yeah, no, don't repeat it. It's a bad idea. Yeah, no. This is what I get on a routine basis. I weigh 180 at the moment, and I'm on a bulk. This is the highest my body fat's been ever. So I normally sit around 7 or 8%, and where the lowest I've ever been was that I've measured was 4.7% was the lowest I've been that I've measured. So, and it was maintainable for me, naturally. So,
No, it's not.
it is 100%. I was 4.7%. Oh, you're done with the comment? I am natty, yes.
Don't believe that.
They'll take you seriously though. That's the thing. I get accused of not being natty at least once a
I
night.
don't believe that. Magically, he pops up with the same bottle of milk every day.
They sell it at the store. What do you mean?
Sure.
It's not like a foreign bottle of milk.
Said expired since 2021.
No, because I bought one from the gym last night. Actually,
it says expired in 2021.
So the original gym, they have a fridge where they do a smoothie bar, right? So I went in there, and I thought they sold Fairlife. So I was like, I walked back there, I grabbed the Fairlife bottle, and I walked up to the owner, and I was like, hey, I want how much of the Fairlifes? And she's like, what? And I was like, yeah, the Fairlife. It's like, I want to buy the Fairlife. I didn't realize it was already open. They've been using it to make smoothies when she sells smoothies. It was just behind the smoothie bar in the fridge. And she's like, we don't sell the whole bottle. We make smoothies out of it. And I was like, oh. She's like, well, how much is left in? I was like 3/4 of the bottle. She's like, well, how much are they? I was like, you just pay like $6. She's like, if you really want to buy it. And I was like, yeah, I'll give you $6 for it right now. No one else got a smoothie then. I bought the whole bottle.
Oh, so she stays in there till midnight.
I didn't go in there that late last night, but she's usually, I think, there until like 9, 10. So I think she's like a one-man band type thing. So
it seems like it. She was going through a lot of Instagram drama right before they opened up.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely natty. I'm definitely natty. If I wasn't natty, I should at least be pushing like 700 or 800 pounds.
That means she naturally takes his supplements. He doesn't take them in a bizarre way.
All right, little 315, guys. Little 315. Nothing heavy. He is not Jay. Jay is not he.
That's why I was like, what?
Yeah, that'd be skillful though for him to be here. I guess he could chat from over there while he's not over here on camera. But Jay was chatting while he was behind me spotting, I think. So I can tell you his full legal name though.
Well, it's not.
License plate number.
So you're live.
What's that?
If I comment while you're live.
You can't now. They'll know who you are. As soon as you comment, they'll know. I guarantee they'll call you out as soon as you comment. Guarantee it. Guarantee it. What's he working on?
I'm doing
Glutes at the moment. He comes in here. It's a 7-day-a-week glute program. It's really weird.
dick extensions.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that.
You know what I'm saying? I just come in here and stick the 2.5 weight on.
Someone's tried it. You know it.
Oh, for sure.
100%. 100%.
Oh, I think that was hurt me.
That and 3 of them rhino pills.
No, it's 130, man. Pop a honey pack. 2.5 weight plate and some rope.
I wasn't 117 pounds at 4.5%, 4.7%. That's when I was 153-ish. I was 153-ish at that point. I wasn't measuring body fat when I was 117 pounds because I knew it was probably very low. I was not concerned about body fat percentages at that point in my life.
Not what's a rhino pill. Wow, Jesus. How old is he?
You had to Google that one.
I'm pretty sure.
Blood flow enhancer.
I'm sure I can go to the tobacco shop next door and get one.
100%.
I'm 100% sure. Hell, I just found out they sell honey packs in there. That's all I'm sure. I'm sure.
I'm 180 right now, yes. All right.
Yeah.
You're nodding correct, yeah. You know, that's the best way to explain it.
Pretty much.
Ugh. Little double. Creatine pre-workout, that's the only supplements I take. Creatine and pre-workout is the only supplements I take. We're not gonna break down this conversation. I don't know. I've never partaken in them. So I've seen a lot of them sold. People trust them to work for what they do, but I don't know if they still sell those.
What? Rhino pills
Yeah.
or honey packs?
I know they sell the honey packs. I don't know about the rhino pills.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
They haven't banned those. Yeah, there's got to be something in
They
them.
still sell the pink kitty, so yeah.
I've never seen that one. I don't partake in these things. So
No, when is your birthday? I'm gonna get you.
I'm
a
good.
pill, and
I'm
gonna
all
get
set.
your wife the pink kitty.
I'm all
good.
set. I'm all set. I appreciate it.
Are you snipped?
I got a haircut, yeah.
I'm just saying, are you snipped?
It's not a question I'm answering on stream first thing.
I might create 3 in one night.
Those are for old people. You missed the rest of the conference. I just realized. I almost. I wouldn't consider myself a bodybuilder influencer. I powerlift. The influencer's loose terminology as well. I kind of just turn on the camera. But no, that's all it is. Turn on your camera and record your journey. That's the best things you can do. If people resonate with it, they'll watch you. It's just one day I walked in, I turned on the camera. That's all I did. So. Hey, all the way from Australia. Appreciate you stopping in. Bodybuilders, though, that's his gig. So,
Whoa.
17-time Mr. Olympian. He's actually 87. I'm building your lore.
Surviving off the dew of a blade of grass.
He's officially the Kung Fu Panda. All right, let's grab another one of these guys. 315. We're just playing with it now, a little Larson press.
Apparently you look skinny, you need to bulk up.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I plan on going to 210, so it's 200. Another 20. Ooh, I think I'll be right. 115?
To be fair, you did say it was really warm weight, so.
My warm-up weight is I did 155 for my warm-up today. I could probably spin 115 on my head.
Please do not give video.
You could try.
No.
You spin it, I'll stand there. I'll scream helicopter at the same time.
That's insane. I'm pretty sure that's how Dennis Rodman broke his. 100%. What?
He lifts, by the way, guys, he lifts the same plates I do.
I'm gonna assume that's satire.
What, that they're fake weights?
Yeah.
I hear this like
God,
at least once or probably 3 times a week. People accuse me of fake weights. Yeah, this is just like our drop sets, Travis. This is easy work.
No, I can hear this back movie, but it's crazy.
This is definitely 315. This is light work. This is light work. This is like lateral race work here.
He's in his mom's basement.
He's wiping the Cheeto dust off his hands between.
For sure.
Yeah. Only reason why he doesn't type faster is the Cheeto dust and he has to refill the Mountain Dew.
For sure.
So
Probably a Capri Sun, you know, they take forever to drink.
he's gonna, it's the, what are the ones, the little Kool-Aid jammers?
Yeah, for
He's
sure.
gonna peel off the top.
He's drinking a bunch of this right now. This is bullying.
That's 6 days a week.
This is bullying. It's just I'm just a natural dickhead, but.
Oh no, this is how that stuff gets responded to here. So,
Yeah, I'm about to say I'm a natural dickhead, so I can go all day.
all right, let's grab this. I mean, we call my mute section the gulag, so.
Does he think it's 25 or 10?
I don't know what he thinks. Obviously not often.
Not often, it's first I just picked up on that. Oh, that was good.
Well, we did a double, a single Larson, or 2 single Larsons. We got 3 reps left to do total. Let's do a single pause for this one. I feel like I'm lining up weird, guys.
No, it's fine because I was thinking the same thing earlier when I was benching.
Is it the light?
I'm not sure if it's the light or the bench.
It's like I feel like I'm a little low every time. Like I feel like I've got to adjust mid rep. Maybe I'm just used to the other bench now, or maybe this one's just like starting to collapse. It's not bad. No, I'm just gonna go with I'm starting to get used to the other bench. Cause I felt heavier than normal, but I'm also like already done 350 tonight, so makes sense that it would start to slow down. What's up, Raymond? Welcome back. Welcome back. Long time no see. I appreciate it, Travis.
Time to go. It's midnight. And I have to be at work on time so I don't get fired.
I don't think Bryn's been in here yet tonight. Not that I saw. I might have missed it, though. I don't have my laptop, so I can't really keep up with the chat. I don't feel like that's everybody's goal, Thunder, but, I mean, to each their own. To each their own. Yeah, I lift heavy because I like lifting heavy circles. Like, that's the reason. And so I can go home and tell my wife I lifted heavy things. It's like, it's top tier moments. Plus, it's awesome because if you lift often enough, your kids start to do things like my sons will run up and they'll be like, have little like things that act like they're curling and they'll go strong and they'll flex. Super top tier dad moment. They've recently started doing that, my toddlers. They'll run up and go, Daddy strong, and they'll flex at you. Top tier moment. Top tier moment. My PR right now is 365. It's 365. What's up? War of the Worlds is happening currently.
Oh, well, shit.
We're probably in the worst location. Got big windows in the front. It's interesting how, like, out of everybody in War of the Worlds, only he figured out how to fix a car. You know, it's in passing. No one else figured out what to do. Everybody else, like the military, I guess, figured it out.
I have to go back and watch that.
He was the only one that figured out how to fix a car. The whole movie. The whole movie.
Yeah, I have to rewatch that. I'm waiting for 28 years later. Can't wait. Can't wait.
28 years later?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. I think I saw the commercial for that. Like, the stuff is being, is that the, what is it? It was because it was 20 days, weeks, and then months, right?
No, they didn't do months. They just skipped straight to years.
Was it years that, is that the one I've been seeing the commercial where the
Mhm.
kids go out playing in the zone or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come
I
on.
can't wait.
That's like the worst plot hole, like, not plot hole, the worst, like, setup for that ever. 28 weeks. like you have a quarantine zone that could possibly start the apocalypse again. You think you're gonna put up a bigger fence. You're on an island, all right? Basically an island, a large island, but an island. Put up a fence.
I just figured you fly jets through.
Just
Yeah, carpet bomb the whole thing.
yeah. But now we're somehow some like preteens managed to breach containment.
Mm-hmm. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm talking about. There's actually no one else here, guys. It's just me.
Schizophrenic. Man. Even they hear the voices. That's crazy.
That's crazy, right?
Y'all all have it.
I don't plan on getting stuck on an island with any viewers, Mark. It's a loaded question.
They're loaded.
I watch my own videos from time to time, so I'm just gonna be me and myself, I guess. My wife watches my videos. There you go. I'll take her with me. It's the best answer for this question, I feel like. All right, we got one more rep here, or two more reps here, guys. Felt good. See, when I lined up fast like that and I didn't overcorrect for the light, felt fine. That's all it is. I'm overcorrecting for that light because the light's in a weird spot, or the bench has moved. I have been on bench for a while, but we're chatting. We're chatting. Almost an hour, but mind you guys, we didn't start the bench right away when we started the stream. We like got set up and everything, right? So, all right. Yeah, it's fair. It is late. It's late.
Yeah. And I have to get up to not get fired. My job sucks.
That's fair.
Somebody has to deliver
That's
mail.
usually the case.
Somebody has to deliver mail. They don't give money away for free, so.
I mean, not willingly.
Fair enough. I mean, one of those trucks that yet to open up in front of me on the highway. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that happens.
All right, we're gonna do cables tonight, guys, because we did dumbbell last night.
Sorry, that's her.
What's up, Grandma Sue?
What?
Grandma Sue's in the chat. Say hello to Grandma Sue. She's very nice.
That's just that's a YouTube handle.
Oh, it's Grandma Sue.
That's it, Grandma.
I would imagine.
She'll buy your t-shirts. All right, man. Also, sounds like somebody's outside yelling, so.
We went to 350 on the bench tonight. Someone's outside yelling?
I don't know.
You should go check on them. Or don't, actually. That's a bad idea out here.
I'll go over there, Pizza Hut.
Domino's?
No, Pizza Hut over there.
Oh, yeah, we have one of those now, huh?
And now apparently the Little Caesars, I saw that the Little Caesars opened up somewhere, I think, further down the road.
Well, they're moving the other pizza place, the local one right here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Is there?
All right, so we've got cable curls, guys. Cable curls. Tips on staying motivated. Give me just a second. I'll answer that question. Yeah, Thunderlord's been claiming biggest fan slot for a while now. He has established that a few times actually. Some people have argued with him on that fact though. Have argued with him on that fact in the past. We have a few people claiming that spot. All right, so the consistency question. I'm okay, Bruce. Thanks, though. I'm gonna do what I want. So the consistency question. So to stay consistent, so the way I have found best to stay consistent with working out, and mind you guys, I was not always a fan of the gym. Like I was not, I didn't go to the gym up until I was 25 years old. I had stepped foot in the gym. I do it for 5 years now. But the way I established consistency, because consistency is more of an earned thing than something you just do, right? So I attached it to something else in my routine. And what I did was attach it to my lunch break with work. Luckily, my lunch break was kind of on my own accord. I could take a little longer if I chose to. But, hold on. So find something you can attach it to that's already part of your day, right? So mine was my lunch break at work. I was working in the automotive industry at the time, and I knew I wanted to work out. To maintain it, I just said every time I go to lunch, I'm gonna have a protein shake on my way to the gym, right? I had a protein shake, and at the time I was drinking Bang energy drinks when those were still really popular. I wasn't a big health guy at the time. I just wanted to get bigger. Now I'm big into health, nutritional certification, all that other stuff. But at the time, I was drinking Walmart branded protein shakes, and I was drinking Bang energy drinks before I walked into the gym, right? It got the job done for the most part. It's not the best way to do it, but it got the job done. And I'd go in there and I'd lift for 45 minutes. I'd shower, go back to work. On the way back to work, I'd stop and get something very greasy, very calorie dense from like a Taco Bell or a Wendy's or something like that in the area. And that was my daily routine. And that caused me to stay consistent because of the fact that it was something I did every day already. I went to lunch every day around the same time for about the same amount of time, and the gym was just down the street. So there was no excuse for me to say I couldn't go, right? And the days that I didn't get to go to lunch, because it happens, I would remind myself, hey, it's now an after work thing. So I would start putting it right after I leave work because I had to drive by it every day. And it's more of a discipline to not drive by it, right? So that's where discipline comes into play. So I want to say right now in the stream, Jay is the longest standing person that's currently in the chat, because I don't think Mossberg's here. I don't think Bryn or any of them are in right now. Thunderlord's been here a long time. A few of y'all have been here a long time. Martin was in here earlier. He's been here a long time. But I want to say Jay has probably been around about the longest out of everybody in the chat currently. But he's probably real close with Thunderlord. Thunderlord's been here a long time. I shower daily, I promise. I take my shower seriously. I'm in the gym a lot. I'm a full-time fitness coach. I have to stay clean. Yeah, Jay's been here since like possibly the first stream. I'll have to go back and look at who was in the first stream at some point, but I think Jay may have been in the first stream. Rich guy's not even worried about being the longest standing. He's just like, I'm the best. We used to have another, so outside of Rich Guy and his general trolling, right? We used to have another troll that we kind of let roll around here for a while. I can't remember. Does anyone remember his name? He's been gone for like 3 or 4 weeks now, a month, maybe 2 months he's been gone. He's been gone a while. But he would stop in every night, troll a little bit, and roll out. I don't plan on lowering my carbs. Who are you talking to, Jose? I'm doing just fine. I still have visible abs on the bulk, guys. I want to let you guys know that. That's possible, Grandma Sue. That is very possible. And I think you might be right on that, Mark. I don't know, Mark. We've had some younger people come in here and ask for tips and things from time to time. So carbs are not bad for you. Carbs are your friend. Now, limited overconsumption of carbs can be bad, obviously. If you're not working to reduce, to increase your calorie expenditure and you're trying to lose weight. It's just calories in, calories out, guys, ultimately, right? So I've definitely had some people younger than that, yes, Rich, in here. At least once or twice. Carbs are friends now. They're both actually, Thunder. They're both. In fact, I had carbs on my way here. Going a little slow. Feels good. Feels good. Get a little bicep pump going. Get a little bicep pump going. Fruit and honey are my go-to pre-gym carbs. So fruit and honey. Actually, I had a mandarin orange. Look at that. We're getting some veins going, guys. Look at that. Isn't that nice? You did miss the bench session. Yes, we just got done with curls. We did bench before that. We always bench first. But I do like oatmeal. Oatmeal's delicious. I don't eat candy. I don't eat Rice Krispie treats. I will say that that's a common item for powerlifters, especially in competition powerlifters. Candy and Rice Krispie treats are a mainstay at powerlifting competitions. It'd be hard to not run into somebody carrying a Rice Krispie treat or a bag of gummy bears at a powerlifting meet. I've seen Gushers at powerlifting meets. I've seen all kinds of sweets. That carb blood sugar spike is important in powerlifting at meet. I like oatmeal. I think oatmeal is okay from a flavor, from a food perspective. I would say oatmeal is not the number one go-to as far as like carbohydrates for me. I very rarely eat oatmeal as a carbohydrate source or a food source, any kind of calorie source, right? But I like oatmeal as a food. I like oatmeal as a food. We're doing standing barbell today, guys. Standing barbell today, by the way. Doing standing barbell. No, Raymond. So as a guard, I had access to some prison food options, but not prison spreads, no. I definitely had the option to try them. I'm sure at some point I could have gotten a whole one if I wanted. And I'll tell you, I never ate any of the prison food when I was a guard. I saw how it was prepared and the conditions it was prepared in, and I'm good. Now, I tried, the one thing I will say I tried while I was a prison guard, because I can't find them anywhere else, I did try the shebang chips, because I was told they're great. Everybody was like, you got to try the shebang chips. So I did try those. Those were really good. A lot of salt. So you will never find a bag of shebang chips on the street anywhere. As far as I found one gas station that had them near the prison. They were big brain in it, because there was one gas station that had them near the prison I was working at. So, but shebangs are a different type of chip. I didn't run into a lot of problems. No, I didn't run into any issues. Sometimes you get like a tray thrown at you, but that was about it. So, Tim, it is not. So generally the workers that are preparing it are very, very careful about being cleanly. Actually, believe it or not, they eat the food too, so they want to make sure it's prepared the way they would eat it, right? They would want to eat it. And you don't get to really pick who all the time who the tray you're preparing goes to. So it might be a friend or a cellmate or something. So it's not like they're gonna make someone's tray specifically awful, right? Necessarily, if it's going to units. Sometimes if they're in line, I guess it could happen. But they're generally very cleanly. They're very, very cleanly when it comes to like washing hands and keeping, stuff out of the food. It's the environment that the food is stored and the general degradation of the, like we had a point where the roof was being worked on and they just had open roof tiles with like insulation out, like insulation just sitting above the food. It's just like, it was more of a prison not doing what it should do. Now, was the quality of food there? Absolutely not. But the people preparing it generally did a decent job. The quality of food was terrible. The concoctions they cook up in themselves, would I eat them? No. If I was in prison, would I? Probably. If I was in prison and had to eat them, I would probably eat them. Yes, I'm still bulking. Hold on. So, vaguely, so how do I explain this? The general population, most of the inmates that I dealt with, and I dealt with a lot of different inmates, because you work a lot of different units when you're at a prison. You're not always at the same place. Generally, they were not super swole, and you see them on TV, sure, and movies and stuff, but generally most of them are pretty small. They're like the general, I think the actual like number they have to have is like 1,900 or 2,000 calories in a day per inmate has to be served. That number does not, I don't believe that number gets hit personally. Looking at the trays, I don't believe they were hitting that number. So, all right, Jay, I appreciate you being here. I don't believe that they were hitting 2,000 calories a day on those trays. I saw days where there was like a single hot dog, one bun, one little drop of literally a spoon of ketchup, a spoon of mustard, and some boiled cabbage. And that was the tray. That was a lunch tray. You're not going to hit 2,000 calories with meals like that. No matter how much boiled cabbage you stick on a tray with salt and pepper, you're not hitting 2,000 calories. So, from a guard's perspective, looking at that now, thinking back on it with all the nutritional knowledge I have, I can tell you right now, it's very difficult to get big in prison. Yeah, so it's all about calories, right? It's all about calories when it comes to getting big. And unless you had access to money from outside the prison or inside the prison, right? You weren't getting enough calories to get big. So, hey, Papa Frock. I was just talking about you earlier, believe it or not. There's usually a doctor in the jail, in the prison. There's usually a clinic in the prison for most general illnesses. For most illnesses, for normal stuff. For normal stuff, they do it in the prison typically. Yeah, so commissary, if you see a prisoner that's just huge, more than likely, he's got access to money somehow, right?
So he's either getting money from people outside the prison, or you might get money from someone in the prison for like you get like prison jobs, or there's even inmates that can get money from the outside from someone. Sometimes we'll hire other prisoners to do things like their laundry. We'll hire them to clean their cells. We'll hire them to cook their food, all kinds of stuff, right? So they'll be hired and paid in prison commissary from other prisoners that have access to money. So. Yeah, if you work in the prison, yeah, or if you work in the kitchen, you do get access to a little bit more. Yeah, 100%. So, they didn't have access to workout equipment at the prison I worked at. They took prison equipment off the yard a long, long time ago. Sometimes they'd make bags of take sand and put sand inside bags, or pillowcases, or make a bag out of their sheets and make like makeshift workout equipment with bags of sand on either side. But that's about it. Other than that, it was all calisthenics. Now, commissary, you'd be surprised that you can get on commissary in prison. You'd be surprised that you can get on commissary in a prison. Yeah, so if you need surgery, you're going outside the prison. They used to have weights in most prisons. A lot of prisons still have weights, but they did take those off the yard out here where I'm at. So it was after the riots here that they took those off the yard. But yeah, so commissary, you can get everything from chips, soaps, lotions, fresh produce, candy, tuna, summer sausage, crackers. You can get crackers. You can get different, of course, your normal stuff like stamps and notebook paper and pens and pencils, razors to shave, that kind of stuff. But they can get like a pretty good variety of stuff. Soda, they can buy 12 packs of soda. Honey buns, pretty much any snack cake you can think of. Summer sausage is a big one. Things like Slim Jims, I think, if I'm not mistaken, were something you could get. Sunflower seeds. So, sunflower seeds should have been one of the ones. Ramen, of course. So, our prison that I was working at was just getting the tablets when I left. They hadn't distributed them yet. No, they had just started distributing them when I left. Yeah, so the reason they took the weights away from most of the prisons, guys, is honestly, and I was told this, they don't want the prisoners getting bigger than the guards. And guards don't get paid very well in most places, so it's hard to recruit strong, like really capable guards. Now, there are some very capable guards, but they usually did that after they started working at the prison. I will tell you that generally your guards are not like, I would say 9 out of 10 prison guards are out of shape. 9 out of 10 prison guards are out of shape. So. I would say the majority of them. So. See here that I was legitimately told here that they don't want the prisoners getting bigger than the guards. They don't want them to be stronger than the guards. That was legitimately what I was told. And I was told by someone that I would put some trust into their word. And they would know. So that's why they took them off. And they not only did they take workout equipment away here, weights off the yard. At the same time they've taken weights off the yard, they took tobacco off the yard because that used to be something you could get in prisons. I think way back you could get cigarettes. And then at the same time they stopped conjugal visits. So they stopped conjugal visits, tobacco, and the ability to work out all around the same time. And they took street clothes out. So you used to be able to have some street clothes in the prison. They took that out of the prison too. And I'll tell you, from what I heard, because I wasn't there when that happened, obviously, that was years and years and years before me, it made a lot of people really mad. Like really, really mad. That's a lot to take away from somebody in an instant, you know? But there was reasons behind it. Hold on. Trying to get as little leg drive as possible. I usually push press after 185, but we got very little leg drive on that one, so I felt good. Tried doing with none. We needed just a tad. So I worked at our maximum security facility here. So I worked with we had a lot of gang related offenses. So we had gang unit. We had death row was housed at the prison I worked at. I didn't work on death row, but it was housed with our prison in our facility. Of course, your maximum security lockups. We were level 3, basically like a 3+, because 3+ is 3+ death row. So. All right, we're gonna do, what have we done? We've done curls, we've done shoulders, we've done bench, we got rows, we got triceps. Appreciate it, Gio, what's up? Yeah, so I usually ended up in the unit that housed a lot of our more established gang members, which is actually one of the easier units most of the time. Well, it wasn't the easiest unit, but it was the easier units of the units that I got to go to because they were pretty chill. They didn't really have to prove much to anybody, and they had enough money to be kind of comfortable for however comfortable you can get in prison. So it was one of those things of like just kind of minding your own to the best of your ability, doing your job and minding your own. Yeah, fights were common. You didn't see them as often as you would think, though. Fights didn't happen all the time. Let me grab the bar we need. We need like the little handle. Hold on. I'll bring you up with me. The fights happen constantly. You just don't see them. As a guard, if you see a fight, that's because someone within the group of prisoners fighting probably didn't do it correctly. They generally try to hide that, usually in a cell or in a corner where the cameras don't quite reach good, that kind of stuff. They're pretty good at not being seen when they're doing stuff. Yeah, there's always going to be like a lookout or something, right? So, mind you guys, so in a prison, you have a lot of different units, right? So, yeah, you got to mind your own. In a prison, you have a lot of different units, right? So, as a guard, I worked in a lot of different places. We had a special offenders unit, which I won't go super into detail about what that was for. But if you're familiar with prisons in any sense of the word, you understand what the special offenders unit is. They couldn't be housed with the general population. They weren't open-armed welcomed in the general population because of their charges. So I had to work in the special housing unit maybe twice. Not a fun time. I was not in prison. I was a prison guard, and I wasn't doing it a super, super long time either. It was a transitional job for me. It was between automotive industry and getting established as a coach. So, yeah, so they didn't do well in any of the units, so they had their own unit. I gotta grab a thing, hold on. I will tell you guys, not the unit I like to work in. Not the unit I like to work in. The women's prison was a separate facility here. They had their own prison. But yeah, so special housing unit, I didn't like to work in the special housing unit. It was not comfortable. So one of those things that you got to know, you know, it just wasn't a good time. I would work any other unit before I'd want to work in that unit. You know what I'm saying? Almost, I would say almost any. I would say any unit. Any unit's probably the best way to say that. Yeah. Yeah, real bad paperwork. There you go. That's the best way to say it. The other part of that, so you had that unit, but the things that surprises people is they have units specifically for like elderly prisoners, even in maximum security facilities. So we actually had like a retirement unit where it was all people, they were either basically end of life care for all of these offenders, right? They had their own unit. You go there and it was almost all people that were well past even retirement age, like normal retirement age. And in prison, you don't age gracefully for the most part. So you usually have a lot of health issues. But they could get like a lot of the treatment they needed there at the prison in that unit. So. Yeah, no, you're good, Ghost. Yeah, so that unit generally was pretty calm, but mind you, a lot of them had mental issues from being in prison for so long, or just generally age-related. So that was actually one of the units where you have more like non-violent issues, but a lot of problems. Good enough would probably be the best way to describe. Would be to describe the treatment. Dialysis. You could get dialysis at the prison. We had a building just specifically to get dialysis treatment for a lot of our elderly inmates. I will say that victim weight mentality, I don't believe in victim weight, obviously, being I bench, as much as I do, under 200 pounds. But in prison, if you look weak, they're going to try. They're going to try. And honestly, looking the part walking into a prison is probably 99% of the battle. Because if you never have to defend yourself in the first place, you're better off. So, yeah. The best thing is to not get noticed for the most part. Mostly Grandma Sue, yeah. Mostly full blocks all the time. Yeah, all your fights are close quarters in prison. So here's the thing. Here's the thing about prisons, right? Guards are usually the least armed of all of the people in the building. So we got a can of spray. We had like basically a can of, it's called Saber Red. It's just like bear spray. And you have a radio that half the time didn't work and half the time your can wasn't full. So you had a can of basically mace, really strong mace. And we had to walk into a room full of this stuff. It works. The mace is really good. How fake is 60 days in? I've only said bits and pieces of it, but I would say it would be really, really hard for me to say they're not faking it, right? No taser at all. I believe they're faking most of 60 days in personally. Because there's a lot of things that instantly puts like, number one, as soon as that show came out, maybe the first season, they could have got away with it. Prisoners get news and TV in prison. 60 days in prisoners are aware of this TV show. I can guarantee it. I can guarantee prisoners are aware of the TV show. Believe it or not, Beyond Scared Straight is a real program that they actually use for kids. That's a real thing. At least it was. I don't know if they've changed it, but Beyond Scared Straight is a real program. So, all right, let me grab this. Now, are the inmates as extreme as some of those inmates get? Kind of, sometimes. Sometimes, but obviously they amp it up to help the kids get on the right track, right? Which is fair. I like the program Beyond Scared Straight. I think it's a good way to establish what it's like. Yeah, Beyond Scared Straight is a real program. Yeah, so Beyond Scared Straight is a real program. Yeah, 100% real. It is definitely something, and I think it is helpful to some kids. I don't know that all of them take it seriously, but it definitely helps one or two, and that's enough, right? Okay, as long as we're helping somebody. They don't have much to do. And those guys are generally the ones with the least amount to do. They usually don't have commissary. They don't have anything to read, or they've run out of stuff to write on. They've run out of stuff to do. So they make noise. And some of them have some mental issues that cause that. But generally, so the way the Beyond Scared Straight program, from my knowledge, works is essentially, yeah, those prison riots are really, 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 really rough. People don't understand how bad that stuff gets, like really bad. But the Beyond Scared Straight, so what it is those kids, their parents actually have to get them out of other charges. So a kid gets a charge, something minor usually, but enough that like an adult would have had prison time, right? Or they start getting involved in stuff, and instead of getting a mark on their record, they can go through the Beyond Scared Straight program, right? So these parents sign them up for this program to try and basically get them out of having a permanent mark on their record into adulthood, right? So it's not like a sealed record; it's an expungement, if I'm not mistaken. So it solves them having issues in the future with a charge at a young age. Does that make sense? So they go through the program to avoid getting charged with something more serious. I think the prisoners are aware. I think it's mostly done at low-level prisons, and I think the prisoners are aware they're filming, and they probably get some kind of special compensation, whether that be good time or something else, for participating in the program. It's the amount of risk involved with putting civilians, even ones that have experienced it, like guards and stuff that are coming from other places to go into the program, is so high, the liability would be extreme. I don't think 60 days in is real. I don't think it's real. I think maybe the first season it could have been potentially, but I don't think anything after that would have done well. I think they probably had to make some changes after the first season, I would guess. Because I can tell you right now, sometimes it's not a matter of if someone's going to get hurt in a prison. It's just, it happens in an instant. Like I've seen, I completely normal day, nothing going on, no issues all over the facility, everything's normal. And then all of a sudden a couple of guards are running across the field, and now they're walking a guy back across the field that's going, to the ER. Like it's that quick. Yeah. People just leaking across the yard. If you don't know what I mean by leaking, that's the friendly way to say it. So they're just leaking, walking across the yard. And it's that quick. Nothing going on. Boom. Done. And they're going for some serious medical work. So okay. Yeah, it's a super common thing to have people just get hurt in prison. It's not uncommon. People think it's maybe exaggerated. It's not. It happens. Now, does it happen as often? No, but the severity is usually about what you'd expect. Eat well, sleep well, and train consistently. Those are your secrets. There's not really a secret to it. It's about nutrition and training consistently. It's that simple. I know everybody says that, but that's because it's true. So, all right, we got triceps, guys. You'd be surprised how big them prison swords get. All right, I'm talking about. I've seen ones. They pull a piece of metal out of the wall, sharpened pieces of metal this long, big old sharpened pieces of metal. I've seen people make axes, machetes. And not everybody fights fair either. You won't know what's coming until it happens. All of a sudden, you're just not feeling well. $100% can take a gorilla. Yep. Yeah. No. Yeah. They sledges, hammers, that kind of stuff. You'd be surprised what everybody's like. Oh, they make it out of a toothbrush. I mean, sure. I've seen a couple people with like pieces of metal melted into a toothbrush as like a slicing tool, but usually that's to cook. They use those to cook. Could it be used for the other purpose? Sure, but it's usually used to cook, from what I've seen, to slice like summer sausages and maybe cut up a swole or something. So. Some prison barbecue. But and it's generally, mind you guys, prisons aren't generally the cleanest places either. Some of the cells are cleaned really well, depending on the inmate, right? But generally, prisons aren't super clean. You get stuck with something, you're probably going to get an infection of some sort. Probably, not always. Oh, they don't fight. There's no fair fight in a prison. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. There's no fair fight. You won't even know you're fighting until you get hit. Here, I'm gonna give you the first rule when it comes to knife defense in a prison. You know what I was told it is? That you're gonna get cut. That's the first rule, is that you're gonna get cut. It's just trying to avoid it in areas that are important, right? Like this is where you put your hands. What I was taught to put my hands, if I'm ever attacked with anything sharp, was in front of your face and neck with your arms tight, right? Because what am I protecting? I'm able to get down here and I can keep all these vital areas and the sides of my neck. So, basically told, get on a radio, right? We were told, get on a radio, be like, hey, tell them what's going on, essentially. If you can get on your radio, call for help, and then try and not get, for at least 5 minutes, right? You got like 2 to 3 minutes that you're gonna be waiting for help. So. There's no, running don't help you in prison. Are you talking about with the gorillas? Yeah, 100%. Gorillas cardio is trash. Yeah, we had bear mace. Mind you guys, if I mace somebody in a prison, you're in a box. I'm getting maced too. If I mace someone in a prison, I'm also gonna have to eat that mace. So, 365. My bench is 365 at the moment. We did 350 tonight. So. I never had to mace anybody, no. Now I definitely had to go through the gas house where it's like a building full of bear mace or saber red. You basically stand in there, have to do some like tests in there essentially. And then it's like 2 minutes inside this room, tops. It is so bad. Your throat closes up, your eyes, everything is terrible. You can't breathe. I didn't run into a lot of prison issues. I generally did pretty well. People left me alone. It's not a fun time. It's not a fun time. Being sprayed is not a good time. Rather be tased. I believe the same thing here, actually. I would say the same thing for me. I'd probably rather be tased. We actually had the military in our prison for a little while. They were doing, when COVID was just kicking off, right? We had the National Guard would come in for like a week. They came in taking temperatures, oxygen levels. They did it like a few times a week. They generally got a good reception when they came in. It's the worst feeling. That spray is awful. I've never been so happy to see an eye wash in my life. We didn't have batons. We didn't have batons. So when I had to go through the gas house for the first time, all of the clothing, shoes, socks, shirt, pants, all of that, I left in a pile outside, and I think I just got rid of it all. I don't want it in my laundry, honestly. They can buy prison clothes, like socks and stuff, but not like, you can't get like an Under Armour t-shirt or something. Yeah, we didn't get that here. Half the time the radios didn't work right, let alone batons. We got rear delts next, guys. Yeah, we I'd say South Carolina has some very poorly run prisons, in my opinion, extremely poorly run. One of the reasons I'm not there anymore, and one of the reasons I didn't continue working with the prisons here is because of how poorly they were ran. It was always something not going correctly, and not even like normal like you'd expect in a prison, just like stuff that you'd be like, how is this a possibility? Like units where you'd have one guard for two sides of a unit. It's just like, how are you managing, that many inmates as a single human being? It was the warm-up E19 actually. Warm up with the full stack and then just do a few more sets. The best policy as a guard at a prison, in my opinion, is to mind your own business for the most part. If you're not part of contraband, why are you minding everybody else's business? Yeah, no, that's legitimately, yeah. I think it was like 1 to 80 for us. Like for every guard, the goal for every unit, essentially there was a guard, right? And about 80 inmates for a guard. So now, obviously, you had control over how many were out on the day room floor, right? But, yes, we had schooling. You could go all the way and get a diploma for high school, and you could do like secondary schooling there too. And they had jobs. We had a carpentry shop. I don't know if you guys have ever seen like the cartoons or like old shows where they made license plates in prisons. That's real. We had they made the license plates for our state in South Carolina. They made license plates at our prison. Yeah, mind your own business, and general respect will, as from a guard's perspective, was your best policies. Yeah, so I'll say that a lot of the time, a lot of the veteran guards, right? They would say the same thing, like, look, honestly, in a situation where we have to come get you out of a unit, right? Because something's happening. Your first line of defense 90% of the time is an inmate that is trying to protect you, right? There's a lot of inmates that don't want to see guards get hurt as much as they don't want to see themselves or other inmates get hurt. There's been a lot of instances in the past where inmates will take up for a guard if that guard generally wasn't a terrible person. Am I saying you should rely on that as a guard? Absolutely not. But there's no reason to put yourself in a situation where everybody that you're basically working with these people every single day. They remember things you do. You don't just reset the next day. If you're a dick, they're gonna know you were a dick. I'll post a Discord again tonight. I'll post a Discord again tonight. So. Yeah. So mind you, another thing about prisons is they have their own like response teams. So you had your quick response teams, the ones that were in the prison, and then you had response teams that were at other prisons for bigger problems, like riots. Being at the prison I was at, our CERT team, right, our rapid response team, one of them, was actually housed at our prison. So, and the prisons even have their own police force. So you have prison guards, but there's actually a police force for prison guards in the prison, because a lot of the time prison guards can be dirty. It's not uncommon. It depends on your state. Some states give lighter sentences, some states give heavier sentences. And there's a thing called amplifiers. So a lot of times when people get really, really big sentences, it's either for really strong crimes, like, I mean, all the things you can think of, right? Something that ends another person, right? Or they have what's called like an amplifier, something that amplifies the sentence. So if you had like a possession charge, right? That normally would have carried 5 to 7 years, but you're also a gang member. That gang member will basically make that charge add an additional amount of years. So it goes from like a 5 to 7 to like a 10 to 15 or a 15 to 20. There's add-ons to charges that make them worse, right? Like if you rob somebody, that's a bad charge. But if you rob somebody with a pew-pew, you know, YouTube friendly, then you're getting a harsher charge. So also prior offenses matter. So have a good one, Grandma Sue. Appreciate you being here. Yes, that is very 100% true. Actually, that's very true everywhere, but I think it's even more true on the West Coast. On the West Coast and the East Coast. Everything is very, everybody stays within very, very specific groups or cliques, all right? There's not a lot of intermingling. But it's not as bad here as it is on the West Coast from what I've heard. So, like here, it's not an issue if you don't, but like on the West Coast, I've heard it's like, it's a no-go. Yeah. Like here, it's not an issue if you don't do that, but out on the West Coast, it's like, yeah, no, don't. Like, you can get hurt. Like it's an insult, almost. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. Most of it here is just where you're from. So here in South Carolina, a lot of the time you hear people talk about what neighborhoods they grew up in. Are they from the state? What counties, what cities, what street they grew up on. A lot of that was more important. Or who they knew. That was even more so. If you knew somebody and they knew you, don't go in there claiming you just know somebody just to say it. You better be able to back it up, or they better be able to, you better hope they say they do. So, here it was primarily Bloods. That was the dominant, numbers-wise at least here, from what I'm aware of. I wasn't that deep into the politics side of it, but. All right. Here is not as big a deal. On the West Coast, it's a bigger deal. MMA. So, that is what I've heard. I never worked in a prison on the West Coast. That's just what I've been informed. So, I specifically worked at one here on the East Coast. So, yeah. I'm okay, HF. I'm gonna do what I want. Yes, they took the weights out of almost all the prisons within the last couple of decades. They took them out of the ones here for sure. The weights they took off the yard here were given to the guards as a weight room. So we had a weight room at the prison I was at for the guards. So which it consisted of the weights the prisoners had. So. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of stress relieving items in a prison. Generally, yes. To remove heavy objects and also keep the prisoners from getting too strong was the idea. So it was legitimately part of it. Like, we want them not to be stronger than our guards. And guards generally were out of shape. I said that earlier. Generally out of shape. I'm okay, Jeff. I don't need the advice. I'm okay. I'm doing perfectly fine. And it's not an estrogen cut. You've lost your mind. Lord. It's called a bulk. And I actually have visible abs, guys, even on a bulk. I have put on about 15, 20 pounds in the past, what is it, like, in the past, like, month or two, but that was on purpose. I have about a liter of milk on my stomach right now. So. I do not drink. No, I don't drink. I lift weights. This is my career. I'm a strength coach, full-time strength coach, and a competitive powerlifter. I get paid to powerlift. I'm a professional powerlifter. I have a sponsor for my meets. So, yeah. I got the 100 next, guys. I'm not a big, I obviously I live vaguely close to Myrtle Beach, being in South Carolina. I'm not a big fan of Myrtle Beach. Not a big fan of Myrtle Beach. So, yeah. Very often inmates had, that happened weekly at minimum. We're very close to the 400. No, not here. HF is doing his best to be a troll, but it's not working. If you want to see the physique, HF, you can. It's on the channel. We've done physique shoots a few times. So I'm about 180. My bench is currently 365. There's your numbers. I never brought in phones, so I couldn't tell you how much they were getting paid. I heard it was quite a lot, but not my gig. I was not a dirty guard, so. I was not a dirty guard. It's all about calories in, calories out. High protein, calories in, calories out. Increase your weight or your rep range, burn more calories, eat less calories, add more protein. Drones were very, very common. We had on the roofs things that were supposed to stop drones, and I don't think they worked very well. Uh, okay, that was the AC. I was like, what is that noise? Can they get a normal job? Okay, so obviously wasn't an inmate, so I haven't had to experience that. But you'd be surprised the amount of places you go that that prior inmates with convictions, bad convictions even, like really poor paperwork, are working. There's restaurants here in South Carolina that have inmates that are actively in low-level prisons. They get driven to work every day, actively working in those restaurants, in the kitchens. They're inmates of a prison, low level, mind you, but they go and they work in the community to make money while they're in prison so they can pay their bills. So. We do. They're not a big. I would say they're relatively big, I guess, but not like you would see on the West Coast. It's mostly the traditional like groups, but they do. It does exist. It's mostly in the older inmates, though. I've noticed older inmates. Religion is a big deal in prison. Religion and where you're from. Those are your two biggest things here. So what street are you from? What neighborhood are you from? What area of the state are you from? That kind of stuff. So that's the biggest deal here. Who's the most famous person I've seen? I honestly can't think of any famous people. We had some people that are housed in the prisons here that are famous, but a lot of them are infamous, and they were locked up for real bad charges. So they're generally in the state's going to take you out suite, right? They're in the death row suite. So I didn't work with them for the most part. We're going to do some calisthenics, guys. Just a little bit of calisthenics tonight. But I'm going to hit the restroom before we do calisthenics. Just a heads up. Oh, yeah, 100% worse. They have a special unit for those guys. All right. Let me go hit the restroom, guys. I'll be right back. And then we will hit these pull-ups for a few rounds. We'll hit pull-ups for a few rounds. Everybody likes pull-ups. If anybody comes in looking for me, just let them know I'll be right back. All right. All right, we got pull-ups next, guys. Let's get set up for these. Where's the pin? Let me grab a pin. We need a pin. I'll be right back, guys. I still have access to 6 gyms, actually 7 gyms now. I added one to the grouping. 7 gyms. I haven't been banned from any of them. I've never been banned from a gym. Never been banned from a gym. All right, guys, we're gonna do pull-ups. We're gonna do some, we don't get the chance to show back structure as often as we used to. So we're gonna show some back structure and see how the bulk's going for the back currently. So we're gonna do 3 sets of 7 here. I've actually never been banned from Planet Fitness. I'm working really hard to get that done. All right, I'm working really hard to get it done. I want to set the lunk alarm off just as bad as any other lifter, all right? But they don't set it off as much. They've kind of stopped. It got them a bad rap for a little while. So, but bulk is going well in general. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and grab this set of 7. See how the back is coming along with the bulk. That's an area that doesn't get a lot of camera attention. So, I'm gonna rely on you guys to let me know because I can't see it. Ooh. All right. That's good. That's good they're still showing, Alex. The bulk sometimes make those disappear a bit. But they're still there. They're just hiding from us, right? They're just hiding from us. All right. Grab another set. We're going to go narrow on this next set. No, you're not blocked, MMA. I can see you. Not a lot of body fat going on here. Dude, sounds like a little bit of cope. Even on a bulk, we're doing pretty good. Visible abs, no matter which way I move them. You know, it's not just a flexing thing. No, that's another thing everybody says. So, not a ton of individual ab work, no. Mostly your compound movements for my abs. So, it's a weird way to form that question, but it is a legitimate question other than the back half of it. And that's because it's up against this little bar here, and I don't want to rub up against the machine because it'll reduce the amount of weight I'm having to push up because I have that traction. So, weird way to form the question, but it is a legitimate question for the most part. I drink a lot of milk, yes. A lot of milk. This is a liter of milk on my stomach currently. This is a liter of milk on my stomach currently. So that's why I got that little lower protrusion. Little lower protrusion. All right. Another set. It's so doing a physique show in this stream kind of does that, and that's why I do it more seldom now, because it's always been that way. But during the bulk, it's important to monitor, so a lot. But we do sets of 7. I'm 181-ish flat bench. Probably you can get, if you can get on the outside of a prison wall, you can get it on the inside of a prison wall for most things. Now, obviously that's not going to ring true for like a automobile, but for most smaller things, you can usually get it if you really want it. Now you're going to pay a lot of money, Anything you want in prison, you can generally get it if it can be hidden on the body, but you're gonna pay a fortune. I was not an inmate, but I worked in a prison. I was a prison guard. It'd be difficult, but I've seen a lot of things be hidden in a prison cell. We had one guy that got away with having a pet turtle. He had a pet turtle in his cell. Somehow went undetected. So, people with, there was one guy, obviously cell phones are a big thing. We had one guy had an entire still setup. He managed to set up an entire like alcohol manufacturing process. To talk about tubes, like a proper like moonshine still in his cell. MMA, the answer isn't no to that question. Unfortunately, the answer isn't no. That is something that prisoners do manage to get in prison, but it's a different process to that. So, yeah, Barry, you're not incorrect. It does happen. A lot of the time they get hired for that job in particular. Like, so the way it's been broken down to me is essentially someone from the outside will get paid to get a job at a prison to go and handle those needs for a very affluent prisoner, right? Affluent prisoner. And then they get arrested or kicked out, but they got paid to do it. And if they can get away with it, they just leave the prison after their job is done, or however long they can get away with it, I guess. So, yeah, we definitely had female guards get walked, or female workers, not always guards, female workers get walked out of the prison for that and arrested, because they're technically a ward of the state, so that's a serious charge. That is a very serious charge. So. All right. That is it for the night, guys. That is it for the night. We are going to call it for the night. It's a good time, fun times, guys. Good workout. That depends on the prisoner, really. Most of them are doing it. Most of them, even the ones you wouldn't think are doing it, are doing that. Snitching is like a pastime. Everybody thinks it's not happening. It happens a lot. It's just who's getting away with it. Who's getting away with it is a better question. So, it was a good workout, guys. The stream schedule will go back to normal tomorrow. We'll have more challenges and stuff going again. Obviously, a little bit different this week. I had family in town, so a little bit shorter on the streams, but we'll be back to normal next week. So, all right. So, time for me to head out. I got to get some sleep. I got to get some sleep and get prepped for tomorrow. Tomorrow will probably be about a 10 o'clock stream, maybe a little earlier, but probably not. Probably run a 10 o'clock stream tomorrow. See you guys then. We'll probably be at the other gym. Maybe, I don't know yet. I don't take the weekends off. No, I'm here Saturday and Sunday. I did take last weekend off because my mother's in town. So I did take the last weekend off. Spent time with my mom for Mother's Day, and she's been in town all week, is why the schedule's been a little funky. But it will be back to normal. Time with family is important, guys. But I made sure I was here to stream at least a little bit every night this week. So I'll be back. Don't forget, subscribe. I'm here every day. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. And I appreciate you, Mossberg.